After 60, even small healthy habits can quietly work against your heart if you're not paying attention. Not all seeds are equal. And for some seniors, the wrong ones may stress the very system they're meant to protect, true health. After 60 isn't about trends, it's about awareness, balance, and gentle daily wisdom. As we grow older, our bodies become more sensitive to the small choices we make each day. Foods once considered harmless, even healthy, can affect us differently after 60. Certain seeds, often praised for heart health, may not suit everyone, especially when eaten in excess or without awareness of individual health conditions. This is not about fear, it is about mindfulness. Stroke risk does not rise overnight from a single bite, but patterns, portions, and preparation matter. Today, we'll explore how subtle adjustments, emotional balance, and thoughtful eating can protect your circulation and help you age with strength, clarity, and calm confidence. And when you consider how deeply the body responds to daily habits, something as simple as pairing water with a peaceful mindset becomes profoundly meaningful. Hydration is not merely about fluid intake. It is about how the nervous system receives and distributes that nourishment. When water is sipped slowly, in a state of calm awareness, the body interprets it differently than when it is swallowed. In haste or tension, muscles soften, breathing steadies, circulation flows with less resistance. After 60, the hormonal system becomes more responsive to emotional tone. Stress hormones can subtly tighten blood vessels, elevate pulse, and disturb digestion. Yet gratitude and gentle thoughts signal safety to the brain. In that state of internal safety, blood vessels relax, the heart rhythm steadies, and oxygen delivery becomes more efficient. Even the digestive tract responds with improved enzyme release and smoother motility. This is not dramatic or sudden. It is quiet regulation unfolding in small but meaningful ways. Holding a glass of water can become a ritual of alignment. Standing or sitting upright, shoulders relaxed, one slow breath before the first sip, these subtle pauses guide the body toward balance. Slow movement, such as a brief walk afterward, encourages lymphatic flow and supports joint mobility without strain. Over time, these consistent micro-practices support strength not by force, but by reducing internal friction. Gratitude, especially in the morning and evening, influences sleep chemistry. Calm reflection lowers mental agitation, allowing melatonin patterns to stabilize more naturally. Restorative sleep then supports tissue repair, vascular resilience, and cognitive clarity. The connection between mindset and circulation is intimate. Peaceful thoughts reduce unnecessary constriction within the vascular system, helping the heart work with steadiness rather than urgency. Many older adults focus on external strategies for vitality, yet internal awareness is equally powerful. Observing how the body feels after drinking water slowly versus quickly builds insight. Noticing posture, breath depth, and emotional tone strengthens the mind-body partnership. This attentiveness cultivates a sense of agency and calm confidence. With consistent practice, hydration becomes more than a health recommendation. It becomes a daily act of self-respect. Each sip taken in tranquility gently reinforces internal harmony, supporting mobility in the joints, clarity in the mind, ease in digestion, and a steadier rhythm within the heart. Over time, these modest, peaceful habits form a foundation of resilience that carries quietly into every aspect of well-being. This foundation deepens when hydration is approached not as a task to complete, but as a moment of conscious restoration. The body listens carefully to the emotional environment surrounding every habit. When water is paired with appreciation, a quiet acknowledgement of the body's effort to heal, circulate, and sustain life, the nervous system shifts toward equilibrium. In that balanced state, stress signaling softens and hormonal rhythms begin to stabilize in subtle yet meaningful ways. Calm thoughts reduce the internal noise that often keeps blood pressure fluctuating and muscles unconsciously braced. Many adults over 60 carry tension in the shoulders, jaw, and abdomen without realizing it. That tension restricts circulation and can influence digestion and even joint comfort. A slow sip of water taken while deliberately relaxing these areas sends a powerful signal of safety. Blood vessels gently widen. Oxygen delivery becomes smoother. The heart no longer needs to push against unnecessary resistance. Gratitude, though intangible, has measurable physiological echoes. It steadies breathing patterns, which in turn influence heart rhythm variability, a marker of resilience in The cardiovascular system. When breathing slows, the diaphragm moves more fully, massaging abdominal organs and supporting digestive efficiency. Nutrients are absorbed more effectively when the body is calm. Even the microbiome responds favorably to reduced stress chemistry. Slow movement following hydration further amplifies these internal shifts. A mindful stretch, a few unhurried steps across the room, or a gentle roll of the shoulders keeps synovial fluid circulating within joints. Mobility after 60 is not preserved through force, but through consistency and kindness. Muscles that feel safe remain more supple. Ligaments that are not repeatedly tightened by stress maintain greater elasticity. Sleep quality also reflects this internal alignment. Evening hydration, taken peacefully and not excessively, combined with reflective gratitude, prepares the brain for restorative cycles. When cortisol levels settle naturally, nighttime awakenings may become less frequent, and the depth of rest often improves. Rested tissues repair more efficiently. Rested minds process memory and emotion with greater clarity. Over time, these internal practices cultivate strength that is steady rather than strained. Circulation flows with fewer interruptions. Digestion becomes more predictable. Energy feels more sustainable throughout the day. By consciously linking water with composure and appreciation, a simple daily act transforms into a quiet discipline of self-care, one that supports the intricate systems of the body through awareness, gentleness, and deliberate calm. With continued practice, this gentle discipline begins to shape the body's internal landscape in ways that are both subtle and profound. The act of drinking water slowly, while holding calm and appreciative thoughts, becomes a signal to every major system that it is safe to soften. Safety is not merely emotional. It is biological. When the brain perceives steadiness, it adjusts hormonal output accordingly. Adrenal stress responses quiet, and the delicate balance between cortisol and restorative hormones becomes more even. This balance directly influences circulation. In a relaxed state, the inner lining of blood vessels functions more smoothly, allowing blood to travel with less turbulence. The heart benefits from this ease. It does not need to compensate for constricted pathways created by chronic tension. Over time, this internal atmosphere of calm supports endurance and steadiness in daily movement, whether climbing stairs, gardening, or carrying groceries. The digestive system is particularly sensitive to mindset. Hydration supports the breakdown and transport of nutrients, yet its effectiveness is shaped by the nervous system. When water is consumed during moments of composure, digestive secretions flow more efficiently, and the muscular contractions of the intestines become more coordinated. Bloating and discomfort often reflect hurried eating and emotional strain rather than food alone. A peaceful ritual around hydration gently corrects this pattern. Strength and mobility are also influenced by these internal shifts. Muscles deprived of adequate circulation fatigue more quickly. Muscles supported by relaxed blood flow receive consistent nourishment. When slow movement follows hydration, joint tissues remain lubricated and connective fibers retain their suppleness. The body moves with greater fluidity, not because it has been forced, but because resistance has been reduced. Sleep, too, mirrors the tone set throughout the day. A nervous system accustomed to brief, mindful pauses adapts more easily to nighttime. Rest. Evening hydration taken calmly, without stimulation or distraction, becomes part of a rhythmic pattern that signals closure and restoration. The mind settles more readily when it is practiced settling repeatedly. In this way, pairing water with a peaceful mindset becomes a form of personal alignment. It reinforces awareness of posture, breath, and emotional state. It encourages a respectful partnership with the body rather than a battle against it. Through these small, consistent acts, circulation steadies, digestion smooths, mobility remains supported, and overall vitality reflects the quiet intelligence of internal harmony. Such harmony does not arise from intensity, but from repetition of small, conscious choices that honor the body's natural rhythms. When water is approached with steadiness and intention, it becomes part of a larger conversation between mind and physiology. The brain continuously interprets internal signals. Calm breathing, relaxed shoulders, and grateful reflection communicate reassurance. Reassurance shapes hormonal patterns that influence everything from blood vessel tone to muscle recovery. Within this environment of composure, circulation adapts more efficiently to daily demands. Blood moves not in abrupt surges driven by tension, but in smoother waves that nourish tissues consistently. The hands and feet often feel warmer. The head feels clearer. These sensations reflect the quiet cooperation between hydration and a regulated nervous system. Strength in later life is not only measured by muscle mass, it is measured by stability, the body's ability to maintain balance without strain. When hydration supports cellular function and calm thoughts reduce unnecessary muscular bracing, posture subtly improves. The spine lengthens naturally. Steps become more assured. Even small movements, such as rising from a chair, feel more coordinated. When the internal environment is not dominated by stress chemistry, digestive rhythms continue to mirror this steadiness. Water taken peacefully prepares the stomach lining for nourishment and supports the gentle movement of food through the intestines. When the abdomen is not tightened by worry or haste, absorption tends to be more efficient. The body extracts what it needs without excess effort, conserving energy for healing and repair. Sleep patterns also reflect cumulative daily calm. A nervous system accustomed to mindful pauses transitions more gracefully into rest. Hormonal signals that regulate nighttime repair respond to consistent cues of safety and predictability. Evening hydration, paired with slow breathing and quiet appreciation, becomes part of a ritual that signals completion rather than stimulation. Emotional balance weaves through all these systems. Gratitude does not change external circumstances, yet it shifts internal chemistry towards steadiness. This steadiness protects vascular integrity, supports joint comfort, and encourages clearer thinking. Over months and years, these gentle practices create a resilient baseline. The body learns that it is supported, not rushed. Nourished, not overwhelmed. In this refined approach to self-care, water is no longer just a beverage. It becomes a medium through which awareness flows, reinforcing alignment between thought, breath, movement, and the intricate systems that sustain vitality in the later decades of life. Through this lens of awareness, even the simplest routines begin to reflect a deeper level of self-respect. The body after 60 responds less to force and more to consistency. When hydration is combined with a composed inner state, the endocrine system receives a message of steadiness. Hormones that influence blood pressure, inflammation, and energy production fluctuate less dramatically when the mind is not agitated. This internal stability supports clearer thinking and smoother physical coordination. Gentle appreciation while drinking water subtly shifts breathing patterns. A slower inhale and unhurried exhale enhance oxygen exchange, which directly nourishes the heart and brain. With improved oxygenation comes a sense of mental brightness and physical readiness. Muscles supplied with adequate fluids and oxygen tend to contract and release with greater ease, preserving mobility and reducing unnecessary stiffness. The digestive tract, richly connected to the nervous system, thrives in this calm environment. Water consumed without distraction allows the stomach and intestines to prepare properly for their tasks. Enzymatic activity becomes more synchronized, and elimination patterns often grow more regular when stress is not constricting abdominal muscles. This quiet efficiency conserves energy that can then be directed toward tissue maintenance and immune resilience. Sleep architecture also reflects these daytime choices. A rhythm of mindful pauses trains the brain to recognize cues for rest. When evenings include calm hydration and moments of gratitude, the transition into sleep feels less abrupt. The body enters restorative phases with fewer internal disruptions, supporting joint recovery and cognitive clarity. In this way, the act of pairing water with peaceful intention evolves into a steady anchor within daily life. It reinforces alignment between thought and physiology, encouraging circulation to flow freely, strength to express itself naturally, and overall well-being to arise from within rather than being pursued through external intensity. When this inner alignment becomes familiar, the body begins to anticipate nourishment not only physically, but emotionally. A calm sip of water taken with awareness reinforces a pattern of steadiness within the autonomic nervous system. Over time, this steadiness influences how quickly the body shifts out of tension and back into balance. Recovery from minor stresses. feels smoother because the internal baseline is less reactive. Circulatory health is deeply intertwined with this responsiveness. Blood vessels are dynamic. They widen and narrow in response to hormonal cues. Thoughts colored by appreciation and composure tend to soften those cues, reducing unnecessary constriction. The heart then operates within a more harmonious rhythm, conserving energy rather than compensating for emotional turbulence. This conservation subtly supports endurance in daily activities and preserves vitality for meaningful engagement. Muscular strength and joint comfort also reflect this calm chemistry. Chronic low-grade stress often leads to unconscious tightening in the hips, neck, and lower back. When hydration rituals include relaxed breathing and gentle stretching, that habitual bracing begins to diminish. Synovial fluid circulates more freely within joints, and muscles receive steady hydration at the cellular level. Movement becomes less about effort and more about fluid coordination. Digestive integrity continues to benefit from this pattern. A peaceful mindset enhances vagal tone, the communication pathway between brain and gut. This connection supports balanced secretion of digestive juices and smoother peristalsis. Nutrients are integrated with less strain, contributing to sustained energy and metabolic stability. As evening approaches, the cumulative effect of these mindful pauses prepares the brain for restorative sleep. The hormonal environment shaped throughout the day influences nighttime repair processes, cognitive consolidation, and tissue renewal. By consistently pairing water with gratitude and gentle motion, a subtle yet powerful framework of internal cooperation emerges, strengthening the body's natural capacity to maintain equilibrium across the years. Strengthening this framework requires nothing dramatic, only devotion to the quiet refinement of ordinary moments. Each time water is lifted with intention, the gesture reinforces a message of care directed inward. The body interprets this consistency as stability. Stability shapes hormonal rhythms that influence vascular tone, immune readiness, and metabolic pacing. When internal chemistry flows without abrupt surges, circulation remains more even, supporting clarity of thought and steadiness of step. Within this steady environment, muscles draw upon hydration more effectively. Cells rely on adequate fluid balance to exchange nutrients and remove metabolic waste. When water is consumed slowly, in a state of ease, absorption tends to occur with less gastrointestinal tension. This subtle efficiency helps preserve energy for movement, posture, and balance. Mobility in later years depends not solely on strength, but on coordination between nerves, muscles, and connective tissue. Calm awareness enhances that coordination. Sleep architecture continues to reflect these daytime rituals. The brain thrives on patterns. Gentle pauses for hydration combined with reflective gratitude signal predictability, and predictability nurtures neurological calm. As nighttime approaches, the nervous system is less likely to remain in alert mode. Rest becomes a continuation of the day's composure rather than an abrupt shift. Digestion, too, echoes this alignment. When thoughts are unhurried and breathing remains slow, the abdominal organs function with greater rhythmic consistency. Elimination patterns often stabilize when the body is not responding to emotional strain. This steadiness supports overall vitality as the efficient processing of nutrients influences tissue resilience and cognitive sharpness. Over years, these small acts accumulate into a quiet reservoir of resilience. Water paired with peaceful intention becomes more than hydration. It becomes a daily affirmation of harmony between mind and physiology, sustaining circulation, preserving mobility, and nurturing a balanced internal climate that supports well-being across the decades. After 60, health is no longer about chasing superfoods. It is about harmony. Your body responds beautifully to calm routines, balanced portions, and steady habits. Instead of fearing certain foods, become curious about how your body feels. Notice energy levels. Observe digestion. Respect signals. When you combine mindful eating with gentle movement, emotional peace, and gratitude, you create a powerful shield around your heart and brain. Aging is not about restriction. It is about refinement and small, thoughtful adjustments. Today can support clarity, strength, and independence for many tomorrows.